3 steps in personal evangelism. Today, I want to train you how you can reach people with the gospel. Jesus said in Acts 1 verse 8, "You will receive the Holy Spirit and you will be my witness." Actually, this was the last word he spoke on planet Earth. And this is for every believer. Every believer is a witness. I was in Beijing. I was asking a person, where is the metro station? He was not able to explain the way to the metro station, but he brought me to the metro station. This is the way how sometimes Christians are sharing the gospel. They are not able to explain the gospel, but they bring people to a local church. I mean, it's good to invite people to a local church, but Jesus said, we will receive the Holy Spirit and we will be His witness. I've met a young girl and she said, well, actually, I was too shy to evangelize. I thought evangelism is for Reinhard Bonnke and Billy Graham, those famous evangelists, but not for me. And then we trained her how to share the gospel. Only in one day, she led 6 people to the Lord. I want to tell you that you can learn it to start a conversation, to share the gospel, and to lead somebody to the Lord. And these are the 3 steps in personal evangelism. Number 1, how to start a conversation. Number 2, what exactly is the gospel? And number 3, how to lead somebody to the Lord. So let's start with the first point, how to start a conversation. In the Bible, we can find an amazing story how Jesus started a conversation, how he was sharing the good news. In John verse 4, he was talking to the Samaritan lady, and this is the way how he was started the conversation. Hey lady, I want to tell you I'm the Son of God. No, he was not preaching. John 4, verse 7, Jesus said, give me something to drink. Instead of preaching in the beginning, very simple, he was starting with daily life things. I was in Brazil in a restaurant and I saw some people sitting there and said, well, maybe it's a good idea to tell them about Jesus. So I was so excited. I was standing there and I was sharing the gospel for almost 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, one person said, well, we are all from a Pentecostal church. Well, if I would start with a question, only in 1 minute I could figure out these guys were Christians, they were all from a Pentecostal church, but I was so excited I was preaching for 15 minutes. So in the beginning, don't preach. Be friendly. Maybe you do an act of kindness, or say briefly hello, ask a question, hey, how are you today? Years ago, I met Pierce Brosnan in a hotel. In the beginning, I was a little bit nervous. I thought, man, that's Bond. This is James Bond. But I thought it would be a good idea to talk to him and tell him about Jesus. So in the beginning, this was the way how I started the conversation. I said, well, Mr. Bond, in the movie, you are saving the world. I am doing it in reality. He looked at me and then we began to talk. I had his attention. If you want to start a conversation, if you want to share the gospel, first of all, you need the attention. Jesus, in the story in John 4 with the Samaritan lady, he had the attention. And then he said, if you would know who is asking you about water. Oh boy, this is powerful. This is curiosity. If we work with curiosity, it's absolutely great. I was in China and I was in a bus on the way to a hotel, and the lady was sitting in front of me from Germany. And she said, oh, you're from Germany. What are you doing here? I said, well, I'm on the way to the hotel because I want to meet the Rolling Stones. I want to talk to them. And she said, well, you want to meet the Stones? That's not possible. I said, well, very often I meet some of those people. I'm flying around the world, I'm talking to poor people, to celebrities. And then she was asking me, what are you doing? Curiosity. Curiosity is very powerful. So first of all, we need the attention. Then number 2, the interest. If you show interest, you will get interest. You know, you have 2 ears and only 1 mouth. It's important if we ask questions and if we listen. You know, you can start with a very simple question, but then please listen to the other person. You know, you can say, well, I found real happiness. What about you? Are you happy? Well, probably it's okay, my life is okay, whatever. Ask some simple questions, but get the interest. I was sitting in a taxi and I saw a cross, and all what I could figure out, this is a traditional Christian. So I began to talk to him like this. I see the cross. What does it mean to you? So then he said, well, the cross is, if I see the cross, I think about Mary. Then I told him, you know, I know something about the cross and that changed my life. Can I share it with you? Oh, he said, of course, please do it. So, number 1, we need the attention. Number 2, interest. Number 3, desire. Share your own story. I tell you, your story is important. And you can explain and you can share your own story in a way that people really would listen. Even if you're from a Christian background, your story is important. Don't underestimate your own story. I met a young girl and I told her, well, today you have to talk about Jesus. She said, I'm from a Christian background. My story is actually quite boring. I was not a drug addict. But she was sharing her story, and a business lady, the owner of a 5-star hotel, got saved. So don't underestimate your story. Write down your own story. And please forget all, I call it Christianese, you know, if we talk about the blood of the Lamb and the New Jerusalem. Well, share it in a way that people really could understand what you are talking about. Be real, be authentic, but your personal story is very powerful. Very briefly, I want to show you how you could talk to somebody. A young man is right here, and probably I've just met him. Hey, hello, sir. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How are you today?
Oh, well, I'm fine, yeah.
I have something for you. This is quite powerful.
Well, please let me know.
Before I want to ask you a question.
Oh,
Imagine on a scale from 1 to 5, if you are happy, what would you say? Are you happy?
between 2 or 3, I guess.
So it's okay?
That's okay.
Okay, but maybe you can do better. Many people around the world, they say that they found real happiness when they found God. What do you think about God?
Well, I've met him never before, but I go to church someday, maybe at Christmas or, yeah, but not.
You know, very briefly, I ask him a question if he's happy, and then I've asked him a question, what does he think about God? This is the way how you can start a conversation. There are so many different ways. But first of all, number 1, be friendly, show interest, get the attention, get his interest and his desire. And then in the next session, I will train you how you can share the gospel.